why it's so unfortunate that this was leaked anyways. Very unfortunate. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go through the parts specific to me. I think this is all mainly just like stuff about him, so I'm gonna skip over this. And he says that basically the purpose is that when he saw my stream where I talked about him, he feels like it painted him in a very negative light. He says, I definitely did some questionable things and broke her trust, but there are some claims she makes about me, Yvonne and I, just friends, and herself that are either false, twisting the truth, or misconstrued. I understand from his perspective it seems like that, but obviously I feel like I also spoke my truth. At the end of the day, you know, there's two sides to every story, so I'm going to be addressing these claims as well as giving context to mostly everything that was mentioned on our stream, since I feel that is very important and personal to me. Oh, this is so long. This Foki thing all started as a joke when I made a picture. I mean, Poki has my phone background, obviously. So he's basically saying there was a Taiwan trip, February 14th, 2018. Valentine's Day, woo. Almost 3 years ago now. And that was the first time that, like, you know, me and Fed had, like, flirted or gotten close, or essentially it was when we first started getting close. You guys fucking eating popcorn? Fuck you guys. This is my real life. A lot of good moments came from that trip. It felt like the honeymoon phase of getting to know someone, and that's what it was. This was the first time we talked and looked at each other differently. We discussed a blah 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 blah. By the way, if I blah blah anything you guys find is important, please let me know. It's just things that I feel like don't have much to say about. We came back from Taiwan and kept being close, started hanging out a lot, talking a lot, blah, blah, blah. It was pretty obvious to our friends and roommates something was going on, but no one really asked about it. Just details about us hanging out, watching stuff together. We did get very close, that's true. And, oh my gosh. Insert very cringy text messages that have no place on the internet, but... yeah, I mean, essentially, me and Fed had just gotten really close, although we obviously weren't, like, dating. We were, like, talking, you know? And we lived together. It's like, yeah, we were able to hang out a lot, and we worked together, so, yeah, we became close. In March 2018, we had an honest discussion about the direction we were heading, and she brought up some notable problems. A, that we live together and could be a problem if things don't work out, and B, we are board members / own equity of the company that we work for. This could be a conflict of interest and could get nasty if things didn't work out between us. So I am very much of that mindset where it's like, if there are so many conflicts in regards to me pursuing something with someone, I am highly unlikely to do it unless I felt like, wow, like this is the person for me. Sorry, I need to let my cat in. Yep, come on in. You can enjoy the show too. I'm so sorry if you guys hear that sound. Skipping the pictures? Oh, I'm sorry. They're really just cringe. You know? It's like, Fetty Weddy. Or like, you look cute. Oh, you made me blush. Like, it's really just cringe. But yeah, definitely this was like the first time we got to know each other, and therefore like kind of the flirtiest time in my opinion. But then I was like, we can't really do this unless, again, I feel like this is something we seriously want to pursue. April / May 2018, pretty much the same as March, except she was traveling a lot. We texted and FaceTimed, and we'd call each other cute stuff. Like, we're obviously acting coupley here, none of us were apart. We FaceTime. I super felt like we were disregarding the conversation we had in March and kind of just going with the flow. Obviously, I'm excited about this because by this time, I liked her enough that I wanted to try to be serious / exclusive. And more, do you miss me? You're cute, blah, blah, blah. Upcoming are some parts that are, well, yeah. So EDC 2018 comes around, a music festival in May, and he was roommates with someone. Of course, it was pretty obvious to him that I was texting Pokey, and I actually remember this, that we were texting, and I think just like alluding to our manager and Josh that we were talking. And he goes on to say, like, I'm a really private person and that he shouldn't have alluded to someone that we were talking. But actually, in this instance, we really, like, this was the first time that we started talking, and we were starting to talk pretty seriously. And I was like, I need to figure out whether this is something that I want to pursue and risk the conflict of interest, or just something I'm not interested in. So I actually don't really care about this at all. Where he's like, I shouldn't have overshared. This was not my issue at this point in time. We FaceTimed in the morning. I don't even remember any of this, to be honest. She called me out on using language like that in front of people, which is true. Like, I don't really want to act coupley until I make that decision to be coupley. And again, I was still, like, trying to figure it out. I feel like I need to understand the boy scene a little bit more. I mean, you know, I was like 20, 21 in LA, single, freshly in LA, whatever the heck, right? I wanted to be sure of whoever I was going to pursue. And also for Fed, as I said here, also he should date around, because like I also didn't like the online pressure of people shipping us, and I don't like the idea of like falling into it just because there's pressure. I think it is much healthier to like get a good lay of the land and pursue someone because you genuinely like them, not just because there's like internet attention around your names. For me then, this came out of left field and I felt pretty stupid. I was hurt, blah, blah. I do remember having this conversation and I was investing so much time. I was trying to be understanding, but it brought up a lot of insecurities and notions of not being good enough. And for me, it was like, I just need to figure out whether I like actually like someone or not. For both of us, emotions always made things so complicated. I wish I was better at navigating them earlier. After taking time to understand her concerns, I came around to her unease. She wanted to be sure of her feelings and not just there because we were accessible to each other. That too. I was like, we're physically really close, and that makes you feel like maybe someone's like the right person, but anyways. Oh my god, this is so cringe because like, I'm not like massively older and massively more mature, but I really was that. I was like, don't like call me pet names unless we're dating. Because I feel like it's just a line I draw, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, whatever. Yeah, I was like, I want to be very private until I make the jump, then I don't care, because that's just how it be with me. But at the same time, like, it was difficult to navigate because obviously he was someone I cared about and I didn't want to hurt his feelings in any way. And also someone I lived with and also someone I worked with. So again, a fragile connection in a sense. By now you can see there was a cycle of talking out and then, oh wait, there's a problem. This cycle continued throughout the years and every time it didn't work out. I think I also parted myself more and more. I started to realize maybe I'm not good enough. The things the cycle did to me were fucked. I became more and more frustrated. I started to become jealous, insecure at times. I would act out sometimes, lock myself in my room all day and stream Pokemon for the entire day to avoid her. I would go over to just friends, sit under their streamer house and vent about my frustrations. So I'd like to elaborate on this. For me, that's kind of the awkward thing. So for me, and I think it's a part he skipped over in his document, but there's VODs of this. After EDC, I went to Canada around that time to visit my parents, and he had surprise visited me in Canada. Again, around the time that we first started talking, and I was like, do I like him, do I not? And then when he showed up, I was really flattered by that because I don't have like a shit ton of dating experience and no one had ever done such like an extravagant thing per se to surprise me. So I was like, oh, maybe I should give him a chance. And so in Canada, I was like trying to open my heart up to the idea a bit more. But I realized it just didn't feel right, essentially. And I was like, oh, okay, now I know like this is not something that I want to pursue. So when we came back home, again, May-ish, I had that talk with him. May 2018, I believe. I had that talk with him. And I was like, because I remember it was an emotional talk. And I was like, listen, dog, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm so not used to talking about private stuff, so yeah. I think you guys get the point. So I think to him, to me, it was like, I've had this conversation with you, and now, like, admittedly, in hindsight, it was selfish that, like, I wanted to, like, still be friends and still be close. Um, but I think he read that as, like, signs of maybe wanting more. But in my mind, I was like, I already had this convo with you of, like, not wanting more. So but also, there was, like, this cycle of, like, we'd get close and I'd be like, I think, like, you think this is headed in a way that it's not headed. Like, we can't be, like, this close. Because, like, boundaries would be pushed and blah, blah, blah. So, since we're on that subject, oh my god, I just realized I am not reading my side of the document at all. So, I'm just going to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Taiwan trip, 3 years ago was the first time me and Fed got close, had any sort of flirty interaction, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, saying the private cringy flirty text, they're kind of whatever. Anyone who's ever flirted with anyone probably has cringy texts like that. I want to reiterate that even though these are out, my personal life is still my right to discuss publicly as little or as much as I personally desire. I also want to say that I feel he implied we were heavily involved when me and Fed were never intimate, we were never sexual, and also I knew, and anyone who has watched his stream, like, he's kind of a flirty guy, right? So as cringy as these are, I don't think these texts from 3 years ago are indicative of much in regards to the things that I said were problematic in my first stream, which I will get to.